Success isn't just about luck, talent, or being in the right place at the right time. It's about how you think. It's about how you handle challenges when everything feels stacked against you. It's about how you respond when life hits harder than you imagined. Most people believe success is about being the smartest, the fastest, or the one with the most resources. But in reality, 80% of success is mindset. Your thoughts, your inner dialogue, and your mental habits shape your entire life. Have you ever noticed how some people remain calm, focused, and even confident when everything around them is falling apart? It's not luck. It's not magic. It's mindset. They've trained their minds to work for them, not against them. They've learned how to control their thoughts, their reactions, and their energy so they don't collapse under pressure. The truth is simple. Your thoughts control your habits. Your habits control your actions. Your actions shape your results. So if you want to change your life, you start by changing your thinking. This isn't about quick motivation or positive quotes you forget the next day. This is about building a mindset that pulls you towards success, even when nothing feels easy. This audiobook will show you exactly how to do that, how to build a mindset so strong that success becomes your natural direction. It's not about quick wins. It's not about temporary fixes. This is about building mental power that lasts for life. If you're ready to take control of your thinking and start shaping your life in a completely new way, then let's begin. Success doesn't start when you get the perfect job or when someone finally gives you a chance. It doesn't start when you find the right partner or when your bank account looks a certain way. Success starts the moment you decide your thinking must change. Mindset is not optional. It is not something you work on only when you feel motivated. It's something you train every day because life will test you every day. If you think like a quitter, you will quit. If you think like a victim, you will look for someone else to blame. But if you think like a winner, you will find a way to win. Even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when nobody is cheering for you. Most people wait for life to get easier before they start thinking differently. That is the mistake that keeps millions stuck. Life never gets easier. It only gives you new problems. And if your mind is weak, every small challenge will feel like the end of the world. But if your mind is strong, even big problems feel like puzzles, things to solve, not things to fear. You must get to a point where you no longer react emotionally to everything that goes wrong. Instead, you think clearly. You respond with purpose. You ask yourself, what now? Instead of why me? Victim thinking is poison, keeps you small, tired, and frustrated. It convinces you to wait for someone else to fix your life, a person who's never coming. The truth? No one is coming to save you. You are the one who decides when enough is enough. If you keep waiting for the right moment, you'll keep suffering through the same moment, day after day, year after year. But if you change the way you think, everything begins to change almost instantly. It starts with one small thought, a decision to take responsibility, a decision to stop blaming, a decision to learn, a decision to try again no matter how tired you feel. These small thoughts grow into beliefs, and those beliefs guide your actions. Before long, you're doing the work you used to avoid. You're sticking to routines you used to quit. You're controlling emotions you used to let run wild. Why? Because now your mind is working for you, not against you. Here's what most people don't expect. When you start thinking differently, your mind will push back. It will try to protect you. It will whisper, stay safe, stay small, don't risk it, don't change. That voice has one goal, to keep you in the same cycle, living the same day on repeat. Every morning you wake up with the same frustration, that's your mind begging for change. You can't think positive one time and expect your life to magically improve. Your mindset is like your muscles. You must train it every day with repetition, effort, and consistency. Even when it feels fake. Even when it feels tiring. You keep feeding your mind better thoughts, and slowly, those thoughts shape your identity. Your self-image changes. Your standards rise. You stop tolerating people, habits, and excuses that drain your energy. This isn't just about business or income. Mindset affects everything: how you treat people, how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself when nobody else is around. When you fail, do you call yourself stupid? Or do you say, I'm learning? When you feel fear, do you freeze? Or do you say, this means I'm growing? These small conversations determine your future. Look back at the last year. What kept you stuck? Was it your job? Your environment? Or was it the story you told yourself about those things? I'll never figure this out. I don't have time. I don't deserve it. Or did you tell yourself, I can get better? The story you tell yourself shapes the ending of your life. It's not about what happens to you. It's about how you think about what happens to you. The world rewards those who think differently, not just positive thinking, but clear thinking, strategic thinking, growth thinking, thinking that says, I can build something from this. I can get stronger through this. I can take one more step forward. This mindset builds patience. It builds endurance. And endurance will carry you far when motivation disappears. Many people think they have a discipline problem. In truth, they have a mindset problem. If you believe the work is pointless, you won't do it. If you believe you're not good enough, you won't start. But if you believe in progress, discipline becomes natural. Not easy, but natural. You start showing up not because you feel like it, but because you understand the bigger picture. You stop waiting for permission, motivation, or perfect timing. You don't rise to your goals, you rise to the level of your mindset. Goals are important, but they are useless if your thinking is weak. That's why most people quit. They say they want it, but their mental habits can't handle the pressure. You have to think differently. I will figure this out. I will try again. I will not quit. When you think like that, everything changes. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you wake up with purpose, not because it's easy, but because you know why you're doing it. Success is 80% mindset. It's not tools, information, or connections. It's what you think when nobody is watching. It's how you talk to yourself when things go wrong. It's whether you get back up when you want to stay down. If you want to change your life, start with your thinking. Train your mind to push through resistance. Think like a builder. Think like a finisher. Think like someone who takes full responsibility for their future. Because your future is in your hands, but it starts in your head. Think better. Live better. That is where success begins. Most people want to be strong. They want to be confident, resilient, and unshakable. But very few are willing to go through what strength actually requires. Mental toughness is not something you are born with. It's not a gift someone gives you. It's a skill you build one uncomfortable day at a time. You become mentally strong by choosing to do hard things on purpose, not just when life forces you to. Because here's the truth. Life doesn't wait until you feel ready. It doesn't give you a warning before it gets hard. If you want to be the kind of person who doesn't break under pressure, you have to build that strength before the storm hits. And that means training your mind every single day, especially when it's inconvenient, especially when it's boring. Every single day, life gives you two choices. Stay comfortable. Grow stronger. One path is easy. Feels safe. But nothing changes there. The other path is harder. It's uncomfortable, but it transforms you from the inside out. And here's the thing, that hard path doesn't get easier. What happens instead is you get stronger. Mental toughness isn't about being loud or aggressive. It's not about yelling, I'm strong, in the mirror. It's about staying calm in chaos. It's about focusing when your emotions want to pull you in every direction. It's about being consistent when nobody is watching. It's when you wake up early and do the work no one else is willing to do. It's when you push for that extra rep at the gym even though you're sore. It's when you study when you'd rather scroll through your phone. It's when you speak up even though your voice shakes. These moments don't look glamorous. There's no applause. But every time you choose the harder option, you're sending yourself a powerful message. I don't back down. That message rewires how you see yourself. You stop identifying as someone who gives up. You start believing you can handle anything life throws at you. And that belief is priceless. Because when real problems show up, and they will, you don't panic. You adjust. You breathe. You handle it. Mental toughness doesn't appear when you need it most. It's built ahead of time, in private, in boring moments, in uncomfortable choices. You don't become resilient during the storm. You become resilient before it. That's why doing hard things daily is non-negotiable. It forces you to face the part of yourself that wants to run, escape, or delay. It exposes your excuses. It reveals your limits, and then challenges you to go one step further. This process doesn't feel good in the moment, but it forges something unbreakable inside you. It transforms weak minds into strong leaders. People think it has to be extreme, like running ultramarathons or climbing mountains. It doesn't. Hard things can be small. Waking up without hitting snooze. Finishing the task you promised yourself you'd finish. Saying no to distractions and yes to focus. Telling the truth when it's easier to lie. Studying for one more hour when your brain says, I'm done. Doing one more set, one more page, one more attempt. These choices seem small, but over time they build a version of you who doesn't break when life gets messy. Let's be honest, hard things feel uncomfortable, and humans naturally avoid discomfort. But avoiding discomfort has a cost. You stay weak. You stay reactive. You stay stuck in the same problems year after year. Doing hard things on purpose flips that script. It gives you power back. Teaches you that fear and pain don't control you. You control you. The purpose isn't to impress people or prove your worth. It's to prove something to yourself. Every time you choose what's uncomfortable, you're telling yourself, I can handle this. And every time you do that, you grow stronger, mentally, emotionally, physically. That strength compounds. It builds confidence. And confidence changes everything. You take bigger risks. You stay calm under pressure. You bounce back faster from failure. The people who avoid discomfort now live with discomfort later. They struggle with regret. They feel weak when pressure hits. They wish they had trained their mindset sooner. But the people who do hard things today create freedom tomorrow. They trust themselves. They perform under pressure. They build a life they are proud of. The choice is yours every day. Your brain will always try to keep you safe. It will whisper, skip it today. Rest, you deserve it. You'll do it tomorrow. That voice is normal. But that voice is also a liar. It doesn't care about your future. It cares about your comfort right now. And if you listen to it, you'll keep living the same day over and over again. You must become someone who doesn't run from pressure, but embraces it. Someone who doesn't look for shortcuts but looks for growth. When you live like this, you become dangerous, not in a reckless way, but in a focused, calm, unshakable way. You become the kind of person who inspires others simply by showing up. The world doesn't need more people who collapse when life gets hard. It needs more people who stand tall, stay calm, and keep moving forward no matter what. Don't expect applause. Don't expect fast results. That's not the point. The point is to grow. To become someone who doesn't rely on external motivation to do what needs to be done. Someone who does the work quietly because they respect themselves enough to keep going. That's how you build real confidence, not by waiting to feel brave, but by earning it through action. Mental toughness isn't built in comfort. It's built in challenge. It's built in discipline. It's built in those moments when you push through resistance, not because you have to, but because you decided to. Do something uncomfortable every day. Take the cold shower. Do the workout you don't want to do. Have the hard conversation you've been avoiding. Finish the project even when motivation is gone. These are not random acts. They are building blocks of a strong, unshakable mind. Because once you build mental toughness, it stays with you. No one can take it away. No failure can erase it. It becomes a part of who you are. And that version of you? That version is unstoppable. Success isn't complicated. Most people already know what they need to do. The problem isn't knowledge. It's focus. People fail not because they lack talent, but because they lose focus. They start strong, then drift. They chase too many things at once, get distracted, lose momentum, and eventually stop trying altogether. If you want to win, you have to do what most people don't. Train your focus like a skill. You have to protect it like it's the most valuable asset you own, because it is. We live in a world that rewards distraction. Constant notifications, endless scrolling, 1,000 things competing for your attention every second. Every time you let something pull you away from what matters, you lose momentum. And when you lose momentum, you lose belief. Soon you start doubting your goals, not because your goals are wrong, but because your focus disappeared. That's why protecting your focus is life-changing. Your dream depends on it. Focus isn't something you wake up with. It's a decision, a discipline, a choice you make every day to say no to distractions and yes to progress. Focus isn't about doing more. It's about doing less with more intensity. It's about cutting out what doesn't matter so you can pour everything into what does. Most people fail because they don't finish anything. They jump from one thing to another hoping something will click. But success doesn't come from starting, it comes from finishing. To stay focused, you must simplify your life. Choose one goal. Choose one clear path. Choose one next step. When your energy is scattered, your progress is slow. When your energy is focused, your progress is unstoppable. Focus requires you to say no to people, to distractions, even to good opportunities that don't align with your main mission. That's hard, but it's necessary. You can't stay focused if your environment is full of distractions. You need rules, time blocks, specific hours where you work without interruption, boundaries. Let people know when you are unavailable. Digital discipline. Put your phone away, turn off notifications, silence the noise. Your focus time must be non-negotiable. Treat it like the most important meeting of your life because it is. Every time you switch tasks, you lose energy and mental clarity. That's why people feel busy, but never feel productive. They're working hard but making little progress because they're constantly shifting between tasks. You have to train your brain to stay locked in. That means working on one thing until it's done. Not perfect, but done. Focus is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. At first, staying focused even for 30 minutes might feel impossible. Your brain will scream, "Check your phone," or "Do something easier." Ignore it. Push through the discomfort. Each day you resist distractions, your focus muscle grows. Soon you'll be able to work deeply for an hour, 2 hours, even longer. And that's where breakthroughs happen. Focus compounds just like money. One day of deep work leads to weeks of progress. One clear goal leads to dozens of completed results. The people you admire aren't more motivated than you. They're simply better at staying focused longer. They choose what matters and block everything else. While others are chasing 10 things, they are perfecting one. And that difference over time is massive. Distraction gives quick relief but long-term regret. Focus feels hard at first but gives long-term satisfaction. When you stay focused, you see results. Results build confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum builds success. But you'll never experience that if you keep switching paths and chasing quick dopamine hits from distractions. One of the biggest secrets about focus is boring. It's repetitive. It's quiet. But that's where greatness is built. Not in excitement, but in consistent, focused work that nobody sees. You have to learn to love that boredom, because it's the sign you're doing deep, meaningful work. Don't expect perfection. You'll get distracted sometimes. You'll lose focus some days. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is improvement. Can you stay focused a little longer today than yesterday? Can you check one less thing on your phone? Can you finish one task before switching to another? That's how focus grows, small wins repeated daily. The more focused you are, the more you trust yourself. You stop feeling scattered and start feeling powerful. You know you can rely on yourself to get things done. That identity changes how you show up in every area of life. You feel calmer because you're not juggling too many things. You feel stronger because you know your energy is going to the right places. You feel more confident because your actions are aligned with your goals. Your future self is counting on the choices you make today. And the biggest choice of all is whether you stay locked in or let distractions steal your life. Most people don't fail because they didn't try. They fail because they didn't stay focused long enough to succeed. If you can train your focus, if you can stay committed when the excitement fades and the work gets boring, you will rise above almost everyone else. Not because you're smarter, but because you stayed when others quit. Focus is rare. Focus is powerful. Focus is what turns potential into results. Train it, protect it, strengthen it every day. Because your dream won't fail because of a lack of ability. It will fail if you let your attention drift. And you control that. Stay locked in. Stay focused. And watch your life transform. Your life will always follow the direction of your strongest thoughts. If your thoughts are negative, fearful, or full of doubt, your actions will reflect that. You'll hesitate when you should move forward. You'll complain instead of taking responsibility. You'll delay, avoid, and repeat the same day over and over again. The truth is simple. If you don't take control of your thinking will take control of you. Every decision starts in your mind. Before you quit, you think about quitting. Before you make progress, you decide you're capable of it. Your thoughts set the tone for everything you do. This is why controlling your thoughts is not optional, it's essential. It's the foundation of building a life you actually want. People think thoughts are harmless, just ideas passing through your mind. But thoughts are instructions. Every time you think something, your brain and body follow. Tell yourself, this is too hard. And your brain will start looking for ways to escape. Tell yourself, I can figure this out. And your brain starts looking for solutions. That small shift changes everything because what you think repeatedly becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes how you behave. The biggest mistake isn't that people have negative thoughts. It's that they don't challenge them. They accept the first thought as the final truth. I'm not good enough. I'll never get out of this situation. People like me don't win. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. You have to interrupt your thoughts. You have to step in and say, is this thought actually helping me? Your mind is like a filter. It can filter in fear, or it can filter in possibility. It can focus on problems, or it can focus on solutions. That choice is yours, but you have to take control deliberately. Most people don't even realize they are being led by automatic thoughts created years ago. Thoughts shaped by past failure, criticism, or fear. Those old voices don't have to run your life. You can step in and say, this thought doesn't serve me. This fear is not the truth. This is just a story I've been telling myself. And I can tell a new one. Start paying attention to how you talk to yourself. Do your thoughts encourage you or discourage you? Do they give you energy or drain it? Do they bring clarity or confusion? Most people spend their entire day repeating the same negative scripts. I can't do this. It's too late. I'm not ready. No wonder they feel tired and defeated all the time. Even if they eat healthy, even if they sleep enough, they feel exhausted because their mind is constantly fighting against them. This is why mindset is not just a motivational slogan. It's a survival tool. When you control your thoughts, you create space between what happens to you and how you respond. You stop reacting emotionally to every problem. You start thinking clearly even under pressure. And when your thinking is clear, your life starts to shift. Not because the outside world changes, but because your inner world becomes stronger. Slow them down. When your mind is racing, you don't think logically, you react based on emotion. Take a breath. Pause. Step back. Ask better questions. Is this thought true? Is this thought helpful? What else could be possible? These questions give you power. They create space for better thinking. Talk back to your thoughts. When your mind says, I'm not good enough, respond with, I'm learning and improving. When it says, it's too late, respond with, now is always a good time to start. When it says, you always mess up, respond with, that was the old me. I'm building the new one. This is not lying to yourself. It's leading yourself. You're choosing thoughts that align with your goals instead of letting fear dictate your direction. Your emotions don't come from your circumstances. They come from your interpretation of those circumstances. Two people can face the same situation and feel completely different because their thoughts are different. One sees it as a challenge. The other sees it as a problem. One focuses on what they can control. The other focuses on what they can't. The event is the same, but the experience is not. You don't just need physical discipline or time management. You need thought discipline. You need to catch your mind when it drifts to fear or self-pity and pull it back. First, this feels impossible. Your mind will keep running back to its old patterns of fear and doubt. But every time you catch it and redirect it, you build strength. You create a new default mindset. That new default changes everything. You stop panicking under pressure. You stop freezing when things go wrong. You stop quitting after one failure. Instead, you stay grounded, focused, and in control. One of the most powerful truths you can embrace is this: you are not your thoughts. A thought can enter your mind without your permission, but you decide what to do with it. Just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. And even if it's true, it doesn't mean it's helpful. You can choose a better thought. You can choose a better belief. You can build a better mindset. Changing your thinking is not a one-time shift. It's like brushing your teeth. You have to do it daily. You need to start your day with intention. What do I want to focus on today? What beliefs do I need to strengthen? What story do I want to live? If you don't choose your thoughts, the world will choose them for you. And the world will fill your mind with fear, urgency, and limitation. You don't have to accept that. You can lead your thoughts instead of being led by them. When you learn to control your thoughts, you create space between reaction and response. You feel stronger in situations that used to break you. You feel more clear, more grounded, and more confident. Not because life got easier, but because your thinking got cleaner. This is where real freedom comes from. Not financial freedom, not time freedom, but mental freedom. When you control your thoughts, you stop giving your power to outside problems. You stop letting old stories run your life. You start showing up with clarity, courage, and calm. Take control of your thoughts or they will control you. Change the story you tell yourself and you'll change the actions you take. Change the actions you take and you'll change your entire life. Your future starts with your thinking. Lead your mind and you'll lead your life. Fear never goes away by waiting. It doesn't vanish because you sit still and hope. It doesn't disappear with time. Fear stays exactly where it is until you move through it, until you do the very thing you're afraid of. Most of the time, what stands between you and your next level is not skill, money, or opportunity. It's fear. Not the loud, dramatic kind you see in movies, but the quiet kind. The fear of failing. The fear of being judged. The fear of looking foolish. The fear of losing something you value. That fear convinces people to play small, to stay safe, to avoid risks that could change their lives. But here's the truth. Fear doesn't leave you before you act. It leaves you because you acted. Fear shows up when something matters. If you didn't care, you wouldn't feel fear. So fear is not always an enemy. It's a signal. This matters to you. Pay attention. But most people misread that signal. They think fear means stop. In reality, fear often means go. Think about the times you let fear stop you, the opportunities you didn't take, the conversations you avoided, the dreams you talked yourself out of. Every single one of those moments had one thing in common. You gave fear the final word. But fear loses its power the moment you move. Not after you feel brave, but while you feel afraid. That's courage, not the absence of fear, but action despite it. Overthinking feeds fear because it allows your mind to imagine every worst-case scenario. Action kills fear because it gives you real data, real feedback, real progress. Fear becomes a pattern. Run from it once, and it becomes easier to run next time. Face it once, and it becomes easier to face next time. This is why some people stay stuck for years. They keep avoiding the very thing that would set them free. The only way to change that pattern is to take action now, not later. Not when you feel ready. Not when you feel confident. Now, most people wait to feel ready before they act. But readiness is a trap. It never comes. You don't need to feel confident. You need to feel committed. Committed to acting even when your hands shake and your voice trembles. Every time you choose action over fear, you prove to yourself, I can handle this. And that builds a confidence you can't fake, a confidence you can't lose. What if you stopped seeing fear as a wall and started seeing it as a doorway? A test? A sign you're on the right track? Fear is often a signal you're about to grow. If it didn't scare you, it wouldn't stretch you. Use fear to focus you. Use it to sharpen your mind. Use it to remind you, this moment matters. Avoiding fear doesn't keep you safe. Keeps you stuck. The cost of avoiding fear is missed opportunities, unrealized potential, and the quiet pain of regret. And regret lasts far longer than fear. Fear is temporary, it exists for moments. Regret lives forever. The more you act despite fear, the more you reshape your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who avoids risk. You start seeing yourself as someone who takes charge. You stop being controlled by what if. You start being driven by why not. Soon you stop fearing fear itself. You still feel it, but you don't obey it. And that's when you become unstoppable. You will never be fearless, and you don't need to be. You just need to stop letting fear decide your next step. Let fear speak, but don't let it lead. Let it warn you, but don't let it rule you. Take its energy and turn it into movement. Say to yourself, yes, I'm afraid, but I'm doing it anyway. Everything you want, the career, the confidence, the relationships, the opportunities, is sitting on the other side of something you've been avoiding. And every day you delay, fear grows stronger. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to break through. But the moment you take that first step, no matter how small, fear loses power instantly. Courage isn't built in comfort. It's built in the moments you feel shaky but move anyway. It's built when you take the shot, say the words, start the project, or step into the unknown. You won't feel ready. You won't feel certain, but you'll feel alive. You'll feel powerful. You'll feel free because you stopped letting fear cage you. Stop treating fear like a stop sign. Treat it like a doorway. Step through it. Even if your knees shake. Even if your voice cracks. Even if you don't know exactly what's on the other side. Because the person you're becoming, the stronger, braver, bolder version of you, is waiting there. And the only way to meet them is to act now, despite fear. Life isn't fair, and it was never supposed to be. That reality can either frustrate you or set you free. The sooner you stop expecting life to be fair, the sooner you take your power back. Because when unfair things happen, and they will, you have two choices. Complain about it. Rise above it. And rising above starts with one thing, your attitude. You can't control the weather, the economy, or how other people treat you. But you can always control how you respond. And your response comes from your attitude. Unfair things happen to everyone. People misunderstand you. Opportunities pass you by. Others get ahead with half the effort. Someone else fails and gets a second chance while you're still waiting for your first. It's tempting to ask, why me? Or why them? But those questions keep you stuck. Bitterness never built anything. Resentment has never pushed anyone forward. If you want to grow and move past unfairness, you need to shift your attitude before you try to shift your circumstances. A strong attitude won't make life fairer, but it will make you stronger. Most people try to change everything around them before changing themselves. They wait for fairness before giving their best. They wait for apologies before letting go of anger. They wait for validation before taking action. And because of that, they stay stuck, waiting for something that may never come. When things feel unfair, it's easy to slide into blame. Blaming your boss, your family, the government, the world. Blaming your past, your mistakes, or even your luck. But blame is poison. It focuses all your energy on what you can't control. And when you focus on what you can't control, you feel helpless. You stop believing you can change anything. Ownership, on the other hand, is power. It shifts your focus inward. What kind of person do I want to be in this moment? What can I control right now? How can I grow through this instead of shrinking because of it? Your attitude is like a pair of glasses. Whatever lens you wear is how you see the world. A negative attitude magnifies every inconvenience and makes every small problem feel like a disaster. Convinces you that you're stuck when you're not. It drains your energy before you even begin. A strong, positive attitude, however, helps you see clearly. It doesn't ignore problems, but it doesn't let them define you. It focuses you on what's possible, not just what's painful. Stop waiting for fairness. Life owes you nothing. The sooner you accept that, the freer you become. Focus on what you can control. Your energy, your work ethic, your mindset, those are yours. Stop complaining. Start creating. Every minute spent complaining is a minute you could spend improving. Be the person you respect, even when nobody else is. You don't need perfect circumstances to act with integrity, kindness, or focus. It's easy to have a good attitude when everything is going right. It's easy to be kind when people are kind to you. But when life feels unfair, that's when your real character shows. Your attitude in tough times determines your altitude in life. It determines whether you get stuck or grow stronger. Fixing your attitude isn't about faking happiness or pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about accepting reality while refusing to let it control your spirit. It's saying, yes, this is hard. Yes, it's unfair. But I still choose to show up. I still choose to do the right thing. I still choose to move forward. That's strength. That's emotional maturity. That's power. Life's unfair moments are tests. Will you stay patient? Will you stay humble? Will you stay committed to your values? These moments don't just test your skills. They test your mindset. They ask, will you stay true to your standards even when things aren't going your way? Stop looking at what other people have and start focusing on what you're building. Stop comparing timelines. Stop comparing resources. Comparison creates jealousy. Creation creates progress. Even when others seem to have it easier, remember, you are building your own path. That's what matters. When you fix your attitude, life doesn't suddenly become fair, but it becomes lighter. You stop carrying resentment everywhere. You stop wasting energy on things you can't change. You start focusing on what you can. And slowly, your life shifts. Opportunities open up. Your confidence grows. You start attracting better people and situations, not because life changed first, but because you changed first. Life is not fair, but that doesn't mean you have to live bitter, angry, or defeated. You can carry strength, perspective, and clarity. You can choose to rise, not sink. You can choose to act with integrity, even when others don't. A good attitude won't make life perfect, but it will make you powerful. And power beats fairness every single time. Taking full ownership of your life is one of the most powerful decisions you can ever make. It means you stop blaming people, luck, or circumstances for where you are. It means you look in the mirror and admit, my life today is the result of my choices yesterday. This is not about shame or guilt, it's about empowerment. Because when you take ownership, you take control. You stop being a passenger and start being the driver of your own life. Nobody can force you to take responsibility. It's not automatic and it's not easy. Ownership is a decision you make daily. When something goes wrong, do you blame the situation or ask, what can I do right now? When life feels unfair, do you complain or ask, how can I grow through this? When you choose ownership, you see opportunities where others only see obstacles. You build resilience instead of resentment. Here's a harsh truth. No one is coming to save you. Not your boss, not your friends, not some magical opportunity. If you're waiting for someone to fix your problems, you'll be waiting forever. Ownership means saying, this is my life. I will do what it takes to change it. That's real power, because now, your future isn't dependent on luck, fairness, or other people. It's dependent on you. Ownership means owning your mistakes, not just your successes. It means admitting when you were wrong and learning from it instead of hiding behind excuses. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it feels heavy sometimes. But it's better to carry the weight of responsibility than the chains of blame. Because blame traps you. Blame keeps you helpless. Ownership frees you, it gives you control back. Taking ownership doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means not letting your feelings excuse bad behavior or quitting. Feeling overwhelmed doesn't mean you stop trying. Feeling angry doesn't mean you lash out. Feeling discouraged doesn't mean you quit. Ownership is about choosing your actions even when your emotions are loud. It's about saying, I control how I respond, no matter how I feel. When you take ownership, you stop wasting energy blaming things outside your control. You focus on what matters, your habits, your mindset, your daily decisions. And that focus changes everything. Frustration turns into clarity. Fear turns into confidence. Doubt turns into determination. People respect those who own their lives. The ones who don't make excuses. The ones who find solutions. The ones who stay accountable. When you take ownership, you build trust with yourself and with others. Opportunities open up. People want to work with you, help you, and trust you. Because ownership signals strength and integrity. Taking responsibility isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Every morning you get to decide, will I blame the past or learn from it? Will I complain about my situation or improve it? Will I let fear control me or act anyway? That decision, repeated every day, shapes your entire future. Ownership also means asking yourself uncomfortable questions. What habits are holding me back? What excuses am I still using? Where am I avoiding responsibility? These are not easy questions, but they are powerful ones. Because the answers reveal where you need to grow. Ownership can feel heavy at first, but it actually sets you free. It gives you the power to change direction at any time. It gives you the power to rewrite your story. It gives you the confidence that you are in control of your destiny. You can't control every outcome, but you can control your effort, your mindset, and your response. And those three things shape more of your life than you imagine. Every time you blame someone else, you give away your power. Every time you say, it's not my fault, it's theirs, you hand over control of your life. But when you own it, even the parts you didn't create, you keep your power where it belongs, with you. Ownership is not about perfection, it's about responsibility. It's about stepping up and showing up, even when it's hard. Taking full ownership is how you stop being a victim and start being a creator of your life. It's how you build habits that support your dreams and a mindset no challenge can break. When you own your life fully, you stop waiting for permission and start taking action. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating your own. You stop waiting for someone else to write your story and start writing it yourself. That's freedom. That's strength. That's success. The greatest secret to success isn't talent. It's not intelligence, luck, or even connections. The greatest secret is simple. Keep showing up. Most people only show up when it's easy, when that ion is high, when results are visible. But the ones who win, the ones who actually build something extraordinary, are the ones who show up especially when nothing feels easy. There will be days when everything feels heavy. You feel tired before you even start. The progress you expected hasn't shown up yet. Every step feels like pushing a boulder uphill. These are the days that decide everything. Anyone can show up on a good day. But winners show up on the hard days, when enthusiasm is low and nothing is going according to plan. When you keep showing up, even in pain, frustration, and silence, you send yourself a powerful message. I am reliable. I keep my promises. I can trust myself. And that trust is priceless. Because once you trust yourself, you stop needing outside motivation. You stop waiting for perfect timing or permission. You do the work because that's who you are. Most people think success comes from huge, dramatic efforts. But the truth is, success is built on quiet, repetitive, boring consistency. It's built on the small daily habits that don't look impressive in the moment but create unstoppable momentum over time. Here's something you need to understand. Showing up doesn't mean doing it perfectly. It doesn't mean crushing every single day. Some days, showing up means giving 100%. Other days, it means giving 30% but refusing to give up. You won't always feel strong. You won't always feel confident. But you still show up because progress doesn't come from perfect days, it comes from consistent ones. Momentum is your best friend. When you stop showing up, momentum dies, and starting again feels 10 times harder. But when you keep showing up, even at a slower pace, you keep momentum alive. Momentum makes difficult things feel lighter over time. It builds confidence and keeps your goals within reach, even on bad days. One of the hardest parts of showing up is doing it when results are invisible. You're working, but you don't see changes yet. You're putting in effort, but there's no applause, no recognition. These are the moments where most people quit. But these are also the moments where champions are made. Because if you can keep showing up when nobody sees, when nobody cheers, when it feels like nothing is happening. You're building a level of mental toughness most people never reach. Your mind will try to convince you to quit. This is pointless. You're not getting anywhere. You can take a break, just for today. That voice is normal, but it's also lying. Because every time you skip a day, you reinforce the identity of someone who gives up when things feel hard. But every time you show up, even for one small step, you reinforce the identity of someone who finishes what they start. Confidence doesn't come from affirmations alone. It comes from evidence. It comes from proving to yourself, day after day, that you keep going even when it's hard. That evidence compounds. One day of showing up turns into weeks of momentum. Weeks of momentum turn into habits. And habits turn into identity. Before you know it, you're no longer trying to be disciplined, you simply are disciplined. You're no longer hoping to be consistent, you simply are consistent. Showing up on bad days gives you a quiet edge over everyone else. While others are waiting for motivation, you're moving. While others stop after one failure, you're still taking steps. While others say, "It's too hard," you're proving it can be done. That quiet edge compounds over time until it becomes visible success. Success that people call lucky, but you know was built on sweat and stubbornness. Showing up has to become a habit, not a mood. A non-negotiable part of your day. Something you do whether you feel like it or not. Something you do not because of results today, but because of who you want to be tomorrow. The more automatic showing up becomes, the easier it is to stay consistent long-term. When you keep showing up even when it's hard, you inspire people, whether you realize it or not. People see your consistency and think, if they can keep going through all that, so can I. Your discipline becomes contagious. And this is powerful because it doesn't just build your life, it sets an example for others to build theirs. Showing up doesn't guarantee overnight success, but not showing up guarantees failure. The people who succeed are rarely the ones who had perfect days. They are the ones who refuse to give up on the bad ones. So when life feels heavy and nothing feels easy, keep showing up. Even if it's slow, even if it's messy, even if it's painful. Because every time you do, you're telling yourself, I don't quit, I don't back down, I keep moving forward. And that simple habit will change everything. The way you talk to yourself shapes everything about your life. Your inner voice is the loudest voice you will ever hear. It guides your decisions, influences your confidence, and determines how you respond to challenges. If your self-talk is negative and harsh, you create a life driven by fear and self-doubt. But if you speak with belief and honesty, you build a foundation of strength and resilience that nothing can shake. Speaking to yourself with belief doesn't mean lying to yourself or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing words that build you instead of break you. I can handle this. I'm capable of learning. I'm stronger than I think. Belief is fuel. It keeps you moving forward when motivation fades. Belief without honesty is delusion. Honesty without belief is self-criticism. You need both. Honesty means admitting when you're wrong, seeing where you need to improve, and taking responsibility. It's saying, I didn't give my best today. I made a mistake, and I'll learn from it. But honesty without belief can become toxic if all you do is beat yourself down. That's why belief and honesty must work together. Yes, I failed today, but I can do better tomorrow. Every word you say to yourself is programming your identity. Tell yourself you're lazy and you'll act lazy. Tell yourself you're unlucky and you'll stop taking chances. Tell yourself you're capable and you'll find solutions instead of excuses. Your brain is always listening to your own voice, takes your words as instructions. So if you constantly talk down to yourself, your actions will eventually follow that script. Too many people are their own worst critic. They speak to themselves in ways they'd never speak to a friend. You're stupid. You'll never get this right. You're such a failure. Would you ever say that to someone you care about? Of course not. So why say it to yourself? You spend every moment of your life with your own thoughts. Make them a safe place. You need to become your own ally, not your own enemy. Belief doesn't mean blindly telling yourself, I'm great, over and over. It means building evidence. remembering past wins, even small ones, noticing times you pushed through and succeeded, recognizing that you've grown stronger than you used to be. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, whether it's finishing a workout, completing a task, or choosing discipline, you add to your bank of self-belief. And the more evidence you have, the more naturally your self-talk becomes positive. Belief doesn't mean ignoring your weaknesses. It means having the courage to face them without self-hate. You can look at yourself and say, I'm not good at this yet, but I can learn. I'm struggling, but I won't give up. This habit is hurting me, and I'm willing to change. That's what real honesty sounds like. It's not about beating yourself up. It's about lifting yourself up while telling the truth. You don't have to keep repeating the same negative script from your past. You can choose a new story. Instead of, I always fail, say, I'm learning how to succeed. Instead of, I'm not good enough, say, I'm improving every day. Instead of, I can't handle this, say, I'll figure it out step by step. Your words shape your actions. Your actions shape your habits. Your habits shape your life. Changing your self-talk takes practice. Catch yourself when negative words show up. Replace them with words that are both encouraging and true. Speak your affirmations out loud. Hearing them reinforces belief. Write them down if needed. Make it part of your daily routine, like brushing your teeth, but for your mind. When you speak with belief and honesty, you build resilience. You bounce back from failure faster because you don't label yourself a failure. You handle challenges with clarity because your inner voice is calm instead of chaotic. You keep moving forward because you trust yourself to grow through problems, not collapse under them. The way you speak to yourself sets the tone for how you live your life. If your inner voice is toxic, you'll constantly feel drained and defeated. If your inner voice is encouraging and honest, you'll feel grounded and powerful, even on tough days. You don't have to wait for others to believe in you. Start by believing in yourself. Start by being honest but kind. Your self-talk is either your greatest weapon or your greatest weakness. Use it wisely. Choose words that build strength, not fear. Choose belief instead of doubt. Choose honesty instead of denial. Because if you can speak to yourself like a leader, you'll act like one. And if you act like one, you'll become one. Success is not an accident. It's not something you stumble into. It's not something you wait for. It's something you commit to. Success is your duty. Not an option, not a hobby, not something you work on when it's convenient. It's a responsibility you carry every single day. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. Duty is a choice. It stays no matter what. If success is optional in your mind, you will quit when things get tough. But if success is your duty, quitting is not even on the table. When you see success as a duty, you stop waiting for motivation. You stop waiting for the right time. You stop waiting for someone to give you permission. You act because it's necessary. You act because it matters. You act because it's who you are. Every day, life will test your commitment. Will you show up or hit snooze? Will you focus or let distractions win? Will you keep promises to yourself or break them again? Acting like success is your duty means you pass these small daily tests, not perfectly but consistently. Most people fail because they live in someday mode. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll fix my habits. Someday I'll chase that dream. Someday isn't real. Only today is real. Only today's actions will build tomorrow's results. Success as a duty is built on habits, not hype. Waking up with purpose even when you're tired. Planning your day before the world pulls you in every direction. Doing the small tasks that nobody applauds but everyone notices over time. These habits might feel boring, but they create unstoppable momentum. Discipline is the bridge between intention and success. Without discipline, even the best plans fail. With discipline, even an average plan works. Acting daily with discipline means saying no to what doesn't matter. Saying yes to what moves you forward. Doing what's necessary even when you don't feel like it. When success is your duty, you protect your time. You don't waste mornings scrolling through your phone. You don't let other people's emergencies control your day. You schedule your priorities instead of letting life schedule them for you. You control your calendar, or your calendar will control you. Acting like success is your duty changes how you see life. You realize your growth affects your family, your community, and everyone around you. You understand that your habits, good or bad, ripple outward. This awareness gives you extra fuel on hard days, because it's no longer just about you. It's about those who depend on you and those who will be inspired by you. Every day you take action, even small action. You build confidence. Confidence then fuels bigger action. Bigger action leads to bigger results. It's a cycle. Action, progress, confidence, more action. But that cycle never starts if you treat success like an optional hobby instead of a duty. When success is your duty, excuses lose their power. I'm tired stops being a reason. I'm busy stops being a reason. I'm scared stops being a reason. You stop asking, do I feel like doing this? Instead, you say, this is what I do, because this is who I am. Acting like success is your duty also means choosing the right environment. People who push you forward, not pull you down. Friends who encourage your discipline, not your excuses. Mentors who hold you accountable when you want to quit. Your environment will either fuel your growth or destroy it. Choose wisely. Acting like success is your duty doesn't mean you never fail. It doesn't mean every day is perfect. It means even on bad days you still move forward. Even when tired, you show up. Even when unmotivated, you do something small to keep momentum alive. It's not about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down. When success is your duty, you think long-term but act short-term. You keep your big vision alive, but focus on today's tasks. You break big goals into small daily actions. You don't get overwhelmed by the mountain, you just take the next step. And eventually, step by step, that mountain moves. When you treat success as your duty, it becomes bigger than money, status, or recognition. It becomes about legacy, the example you set, the people you inspire, the life you build for those who come after you. Your actions today echo far beyond you, and that gives you purpose on days when motivation isn't enough. Success isn't something you do if you have time. It's something you commit to because your future, your family, your purpose depends on it. Act every day like success is your duty. Focus when others drift. Show up when others quit. Push through fear, fatigue, and excuses. Because success doesn't belong to those who try when they feel like it. It belongs to those who treat it as a responsibility and show up every single day no matter what.